Okay, so I want to just like kind of talk just a second about like how my challenge groups used to be. So when I first started, because I was talking, and I know I made this video in our team page and everything, so you guys know, and I've already talked to Jessica, and I'm sure Ashley, maybe you saw the video that I posted, just about everybody running their own challenge group. So like Ashley, you could team up with Jamie, and you guys would run your own group. That's kind of what I would do. I would have like if I had a newer coach, I would put them with me, and then I would run the group. Um, you know, that way. Sorry, I was going to mute you guys, but um, so that way, like, because like for example, like Jessica and Jamie, they both like have been in my groups a lot, so they know how they're ran, and it's good. It's at this point, I think they're perfectly capable of running their own group because they have done such a good job in my groups that it's time to move on. And just because I think it's going to help their coaches and their challengers to see that they're leading the group and that they're, they're the leader in that group. So there's different ways to run the groups. So when I first started, I did a big, huge group. So I would just continuously add people to that group. It just got bigger and bigger. And it was kind of hard to follow up with, like to check in with everybody. And then some people weren't doing the workouts. And it was just a never ending group that I like never closed. Whereas now I close and then I reopen the group. So there's a few different ways to run the group. You can do like a free group, and then you can do like the paid group, which sometimes people will do those separately. Like they'll have what they call a free accountability group. So just a group that they add those people to that, for whatever reason they can't afford the Shakeology, or they don't want it, or whatever. You just have them in a free group, and you can post in that group. You can give them like daily to do exercises or whatever. And then you have your paid group where those are customers that have bought the challenge pack. Or you can actually combine those two. And I've kind of went back and forth on this. My requirement for my challenge groups in the past, like with really no questions asked. Hi, Angie. Hey. Okay. So my requirements in the past for my challenge groups have been, they have to be on Shakeology. And I've went back and forth on this. I've talked to a couple of my coaches like Jessica and Melissa, and a couple others. I've talked to you guys a lot about this because it was something that I just wasn't sure. That's what a lot of the top coaches recommend. They recommend that the customers be on Shakeology and doing a Beachbody program. And that's it, pretty much, no questions asked, which we don't always have to do what everybody recommends because it's not always going to work for everybody. Which it has worked for me. And of course there's exceptions. We've made exceptions in the past to people who can't afford it, or maybe you have a friend, you really want to help them out. You add them to the group to give them accountability because it's definitely going to benefit them to be in a group. But I've kind of like today decided that I'm going to let that go because right now my group is really successful because of all of you guys that are in the group. And then you're adding your customers and your coaches, and it's been a really successful group. So I know like Jessica Servi's concern in doing her own group is that there's going to be a little interaction in her group. Yes, that's probably true. I'm concerned because I'm taking all of you guys. I'm not going to make you guys leave my group. I don't mind to keep you in my group. But you can't be in 16 groups and like keep up with them all and feel like you got to post in them. And it's just too much. I think you guys should focus on your own group, and we can still like be a community of coaches who are sharing. Maybe like if I have maybe one of you guys tells me that you have a customer who has had a major awesome transformation. Then you could add them to, I could use their story and I could add it in my group, and same thing with mine. I could add, you guys could add my transformation story. We can still be a community and talk about our groups within our personal pages, and maybe, tag each other in something that, whatever it is, we can still show that we are all doing this together. We're just not going to be in a big group together. And I'm not telling like all of you guys that you have to run your own group. Like it's just, you have to. But I would highly recommend it, like team up with, another coach or one of your awesome challengers or whatever, maybe who's going to be a coach or whatever. I would say 2 coaches, team up and, run your own group. But I think, like, as far as the interaction goes, I was concerned about that at first because I didn't have very much interaction. And some days you feel like people aren't posting and they're just not connecting in the group. But you have to just know that you've got to, number one, you've got to keep those invites going and posts and all that stuff to get those people in. Because you're going to find the people that are going to really uplift your group. And of course, your coaches who are in the group, who you want to let in your group a couple months to where they kind of get the feel for it, then they need to branch out and do their own group too. That's why I uploaded all those scripts in the team page so that you guys can see what I kind of work off of. I don't run my groups the same exact way every single month. My posts are not, you've seen a lot of my pictures that I use. I know you guys have seen a lot of repetitive stuff I use, but I do try to switch it up. It's never the exact same thing every single month. I try to just change it up a little bit and add some, new material and things. But so anyways, you can kind of mess with it. That's the fun of it. You're going to run it the first month that you do it on your own, and you're going to see what you need to improve on. You're going to see what worked and what didn't work. And it's just all a learning process because, like, obviously I've been doing this a while and I'm changing it up now. But I just feel like it's, like I had said, it's just doing you guys a disservice because you're not going to be able to run your own clean eating groups or your own, not saying you're not going to be able to, but it's going to give you the confidence. If you're running your own challenge group, it's going to give you that confidence to run a sneak peek by yourself or to team up with another coach and run a clean eating group or a different free group that you want to offer. And it's just going to help you grow as a coach. And, I think it's necessary. So that's why we're doing this. So back to whether you want to do a free group or a paid group. So you can actually, what I would do at this point, because you're going to need people in your group. If you say you only have 2 people that have bought a challenge pack from you in the past or recently or whatever, and you've only got a total of 2 people that have paid you to get a program and are actually on Shakeology or whatever. That's not very many people in your group. So, which is okay. You got to start small. Sometimes the smaller intimate groups are good. Some people like those. They don't feel as intimidated if they're in a smaller group. I don't know. I've done both. I don't know. You're going to hear a lot of crickets in a small group. There's not going to be a ton of, like I said, interaction, and that's pretty normal, I think. But again, as your group grows bigger, like mine has, you're going to end up getting more and more people involved and more people to post. So my recommendation, which is this is going against everything I've previously said, I think you guys should start doing almost like a free and paid group together. So say you have like a few people from the clean eating group that loved the group, like they loved the accountability factor and they loved the motivation and the support that they got from the group, but they can't afford Shakeology or whatever their objective is that you can't. Because whatever their objective is, sometimes, you can, I would initially, when I do an invite, I would initially go into it as, here's what we do, here's what I recommend, find out their goals, find out the best way to help them. And then whatever their objection is, whether it's no money or whatever, sometimes you just can't get around it. It is what it is, and you're not going to convince them if they're not ready to do it. But you can, at that point, offer to put them in your group because it's going to motivate them. At the end of the day, we're looking to help people. So we don't care if they don't buy something because I have done this with just a couple times today since I've decided that I'm going to do this. And I don't mean to put every single person in your group, but if you be the judge of that. It's your call. It's your group now. So you're going to just, like I said, make that call. Talk to them. If, some of those people, the free customers, make sure they're a customer under you. They have to be signed up underneath you as a customer. I would make that a non-negotiable thing. But after that, they may be one of your awesome, like I just added a girl yesterday and she's wanting to buy a challenge pack and she still hasn't bought it. And she's done like 5 posts since yesterday. So that's awesome because she's sharing stuff that she's doing because she's been into meal prepping. She has a ton of Beachbody programs, but she's never, never bought anything from me. But that's okay. I know that she wants Shakeology. I know she's going to come around. But a lot of things that she's going to do in my group are going to help everybody else in the group because I get in a rut and I feel like, I do the same thing every week, or if I'm slacking on my prepping, one of your challengers or coaches hopefully is going to come in and they're going to post about that. They're going to show their containers that they're using and all the different containers that they put all their meal prep in. So like I said, I would recommend you can run 2 separate groups. You can run a free accountability group and you can run a paid group, but then you're posting in 2 different groups. You're having to keep up with them. It becomes just too much. So I would combine it, and the people that are not doing a program, maybe throw up a few exercises that they could do. Like, you could say, a lot of us are doing the 21-day fix, but if you're not doing the 21-day fix, do this. Kind of make it adaptable for everybody. And, of course, the clean eating recipes that you post and different meal plans maybe that you share with your group, they're going to be clean, so it doesn't matter if they don't have the containers. Again, I would highly recommend that, your customers purchase the challenge pack because you can't guarantee their results. You can guarantee that they're going to have accountability and support in the group if they're a free customer, but they're not buying anything. But you can't guarantee that they're going to get great results because they're not following a program really. But again, they're going to have your support. They're going to see that. And again, at the end of the day, that's going to be the most important thing. They're going to feel, supported, and, they're going to feel your friendship from that. And most likely they're going to move forward with that and become motivated within the group and see what it's really about. So that's what I would do, because you're going to need a variety of people to because I remember when I first started my group and I felt like nobody was posting and it was like me and nobody else, and you get a little discouraged because you're trying to be, leader. You're trying to be the leader and post and give all kinds of good information. And it's just kind of a slap in the face when people aren't, you feel like nobody's watching, but they're watching. You can see how many people see the post, they see it. Just hang in there. You've got to hang in there, and get through some of that. But like I said, the reason why I want you to do that, I wrote some things down, but obviously is to develop and be a better coach and grow, and, find those rock star coaches from those challengers that are in your group. This is like the bulk of your business. Your challenge group is like, that's where your business lies pretty much, because that's where your coaches are going to come from. And that's just where you're going to make the biggest impact on all of the people in the group. And then it's going to also, I think, push you. For me, it helps push me to do more invites because, if I only have a couple people in my group, let's say, I want people in my group drinking Shakeology and doing a program. Like, that's what we're doing. We know that this gives good results, and that's the point of all this, because we want them to have those good results and have that lifestyle change. And of course, like the 21-day fix gives them all the tools to do that. So, and plus along with the group, which I really, highly stress the group and how important it is when I talk to, my challengers or my future or potential customers. That's one of the things, that in order for them to be, or in result or in return of them being my customer, they get added to my group. And it's kind of hard sometimes to explain how beneficial it is until they really get in there. But so I think it's going to push you to, put those invites out and really reach out because you want to build your group up and get people in there. And I would always close, this is off the subject a little bit, but I would always close out the group. Now, before, when I started my group and I had this huge fit family group, I still have it. And I'm thinking about actually trying to post in that a few times a week, and I can add whoever. I think you guys except Ashley are all in that group, but I don't ever post in it. Like I posted my 3-day refresh results. I post a little bit here and there. Some girls do kind of a fit community group where they have everybody who's ever been their customer, anybody who has ever bought a challenge pack from them, they dump in a group and they post in that group periodically. Like if there's a promotion, that's a good way to reach all of the people that that have bought from you, that have been in your clean eating groups, that have, whatever it is. it's a good way to reach all those people. So I'm going to maybe try to add some of my customers that aren't in there and maybe try to do some posts in there just so that I'm reaching all of those people that I never talk to anymore. I mean, I try to check in with all of those old customers here and there, but I can't physically do it. And, a lot of them aren't even doing the program anymore. But I think at some point they would want to jump back on, and they may even want to do the coaching opportunity at some point, hopefully. But so like I said, I think it's just going to push you to get those invites out. It's going to help you hit Success Club because, you want to try to get at least 3 people started each month. But again, add those free people to it to help motivate your group as well. Let's see what else. I already said that it's going to help you to build confidence so that you can do your own sneak peek and clean eating groups. And in that way, like all of your challengers have a home. So like we do, we pick up all the rock stars and all the people that want to stick with us. We pick up, I close that group, which I haven't closed the last group, but I typically let that run for just a little bit, but then I close it and then we move on to the next group. I think it's important to start a new fresh group each month, even though it's kind of a pain to set up. It's not a pain to set up the group really, but just it's nice to pre-post or set up all those posts so that you don't have to do it every day. Of course, I still check in with my group after my workout, but it's nice to get that one post done for the day with Hootsuite, which I'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute if we have time. But it's just good for all of your customers to have, like I said, a home, and they're going to look to you as a leader. They're going to see you as their coach, and it's going to help everybody this way. Okay, what else here was I going to say? Okay, and then we're always going to start those on the third Monday of every month. So that's when I start my challenge group. It's just good. It gives you, because we do the clean eating group the first week. We're going to try to do the sneak peek the second week, which we missed it this month. We didn't do it. There's too much stuff going on. We're going to try to do it next month. And then the paid group, I call it, or just your challenge group, is going to start the third Monday of the month. That way it gives you time to promote. So some of those clean eating people that you're going to attract, that are going to be in your group, they're going to want to move forward. They're going to want to take the next step and get a program and get Shakeology. And then that way they have time to get their stuff in order to be in the group that starts on Monday. And, of course they don't all have to start at the same time. I mean, we know that everybody starts kind of at different times, just depending on when they get their stuff. What else was I going to say? Okay, do you guys have any questions on that at all? Anybody? You can unmute yourself if you do. But I don't know, Angie, you and Carly could run your own group, and then or however you want to do it. If you want to try to run your group and she's maybe going to do some invites to get some people involved, you're going to do some invites to get some people involved, and then that might be a good start. And then Melissa and Jessica could run a group together with like some of Jessica's coaches. And you guys could run it together. It's up to you. I think you guys could do it on your own and be perfectly fine. But that's up to you. You guys can talk about that and see what you think.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
So we're planning on still doing the clean eating groups and the coach sneak peeks together for a while, right? Unless we want to run an extra on our own.
Yes, we'll do those together. I do want to run, I know I've said this, but I really want to try to do a different kind of free group. Not the clean eating's fine. I'm just kind of I feel burnt out on it a little bit. But I think we should do like a mom survival group or whatever. I really want to do one of those, and maybe like me, and Jamie doesn't have little kids, so not that she can't do it, but I was kind of maybe thinking about focusing on some moms that have little kids and maybe do some fun things in a group like that. Just different things. So I would team up with you guys at that point and we would run something together. So yes, you don't have to worry about that, but I do think at some point it would be good if one of you guys wanted to just, take off and run your own clean eating group, and it's fine. It's easy to do, very easy. Jamie has all the, stuff that she would share with us, like day by day stuff, because it's not hard. the hardest part is getting together the grocery list and the meal plan or the recipes, because you have to type all that out in this list, which I don't know. I think it's nice to give them a grocery list, but at the same time, I think they could look at the menu and they could write down the ingredients and they can buy them. It's not hard to look at the recipe and write down what ingredients you need. But anyway, it does make it very user friendly and easy to supply the grocery list. But that takes a ton of time because you're trying to get everything from each recipe and not leave anything out. And it's just, you can't just screen. It's kind of tacky to screenshot, the recipe and upload it that way versus you kind of need to have it in like some sort of a document. Yeah.
And Angie, like, it's up to you, but I'm thinking for like next month that we would maybe just team up and do our challenge group and put all our people together and then see how that goes. I mean, if you want to do your own, that's awesome and go for it. But I like Tabitha said, I'm freaking out like, okay, I really want to have good interaction, and so I think that might help us all to get just our feet wet and, but if you want to do your own, that's really okay too. So.
Well, I don't really have very many people, so.
Yeah, so maybe we can do it together for June.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see how it goes and go from there.
And, honestly, like I meant to say this earlier, and this goes for my challengers, this goes for my coaches. I mean, you can, and I've said this before, but you can only motivate people so much. I mean, you can give them all the tools and, you set them up with this challenge pack, you put them in this group, every day you motivate them with a post, with your picture, with, you give them all kinds of tips and information, and you are still going to have people that, do not post. They're not motivated to do it. You thought they would. And they're just not. So that's why I think it's important that we add some of those free people or free customers like that are, want accountability, who maybe they already have the 21-day fix, they bought it off of the TV and they didn't buy the shakes because they can't afford them, whatever. They may be your best, challenger that month. And that's why, and they didn't even spend that, they didn't even buy that much or spend that much money on it, where some of these people who are really make a big investment, $140 or $60 or whatever it is, for them, they, then they don't even do the program. So it's just, yes, the interaction thing really stinks. It makes it feel like you feel discouraged, but just try to hang in there. Sorry, were you going to say something else, Jessica?
No, I was telling my kids not to drag their crap. I'm like scrubbing scuff marks off my hardwood with Wild Orange right now. So if I look like a freak, that's what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh. So funny. Who else is on the call? Someone else jumped on. Who's on here?
Lisa's here.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Hey. Okay, but I can show you guys real quick. I don't know how much time I have left. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Tell me if you can see my screen. Okay, what the heck? Well, one moment. Can you guys?
Yeah,
I can see it.
Okay, you can see my iTunes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, can you see my Hootsuite now?
3.
Can you see this, okay, can you see that?
It looks funny.
The only thing I can make out is
Oh, crap.
Safari at the top.
Weird. See, I don't even know how to do this. Dang it, I was going to try to show you this. Well, anyway, I don't know if that's going to work. So I just like to set all this to set all this up, but obviously it's not going to let me do it.
Guys, let's go get in the tub, okay?
Okay, and now I can't even find you. Can you see? You can't see me probably. Oh, here we go. Okay, forget that. Sorry, I don't know. I got to work on that because I don't even know how to do that. But what you do is you can set up your Hootsuite. So you can like go to hootsuite.com, you set it up, it signs you in through your Facebook. And then you pick the group. So I wish I could show you, dang it. You pick the group and that you want to share, like it'll connect with your Hootsuite. And basically it's so simple. Like you copy and paste from your Google Drive, which we need to do another call on Google Drive. We'll do that maybe next week or something when Jamie gets back. Cause she knows how to share her screen, number one. And she she has a lot on her Google Drive and she is a little bit more talented with it than me. And it's not hard. It's just a little bit, it's just kind of hard to figure out, a little bit difficult to figure out how to get around in it, but it's not hard at all. And it's a really wonderful thing once you have it because you can access it anywhere. So all of your stuff is, at your fingertips. So what I do is I typed up you can actually upload those documents. So I have those scripts that I uploaded in our team page. You can use those scripts and you can upload those to your Google Drive or copy and paste them, and then you have them. So every day what I do is I copy day one, or we do a preseason. So I always recommend doing a preseason, which is basically just getting your coaches geared up for the week to come. You can do a whole week before, but to me that's a little bit much. I would start on a Thursday or Friday, do some of the main posts, maybe do a welcome video, and then give some different tips and maybe, information or whatever, however you want to do it. You guys have seen what I've done, so you can use some of that information. And you copy and paste it into your Hootsuite. You schedule the post. You tell it when it's going to post it. And then it's great because you've seen that it says Hootsuite at the top of my post sometimes. That's because I scheduled it. So at 5:45 a.m. every day in this group that I have, this new group, it's going to post for me. So it's my main motivational post for the day or my tip for the day or my mission that I'm addressing. And then of course I'm going to follow up, later on in the day, I'm going to check in with my workout picture, or I'm going to check in with what I'm eating, or I'm going to add more value by adding another tip or something. So both of those things you need to have, I think, in order to run your group. You don't have to, but I remember I was always just stressed because it was oh my gosh, I got to post in my group. And I haven't posted that motivational quote or I haven't wrote up something, and it doesn't take a lot of time, but sometimes it does if you want to, if it's all coming from, your brain that at that moment in time, it takes some thought to think of it, to type it out, to post it in there. So, and that's kind of a pain. So if you already have it done, and a lot of the people that are in your group, they didn't see your last month's post. And if they did, oh well, it's still going to motivate them for that day. Cause I know I've kind of felt that way. You guys are probably okay, I've seen this picture 20 times, but, I feel each day, each month on that day, if you saw that same post, it's going to hit you a different way. It's going to benefit you no matter what, no matter if you've already seen it, because it never gets old hearing some of that stuff again. So I would try to mess around with those if you can this week. Just go to googledrive.com. If you have a Gmail account, it's easy to access that. That's all you need to do it. And then, like I said, I will try to, maybe next week, that's what I'll tell Jamie that we'll do. We'll kind of go through, I'll mess around with my sharing screen thing, and I'll see if I can figure out how to get it to where, because that whole thing on my end was all new, and I don't know what the heck I'm even doing on there. And it's not hard, but I just need to mess around with it, and I don't want to waste a bunch of time trying to figure that out. So maybe we'll do that next week. We'll talk about Hootsuite, and I'll actually show you how to, because Jamie doesn't use it. There's Buffer too. Buffer's another same thing. It's just I don't use Buffer. I use Hootsuite because I'm used to it now. But last night, it probably took me maybe 20 minutes and I have all the pictures. So I have a folder on my computer of all the pictures, the 21-day fixtures that I use. And so it's easy because you can attach a file with your text. So I copy and paste from my Google Drive, and then I attach a picture, whatever picture I think goes with that that text or whatever, I'll drag one out and, you know, of some of my favorites that I save, and then I'll post it or schedule it. And then the next morning it's done and I don't even have to think about it. So I've set up all my posts for this month, which is nice because it's one less thing I have to worry about. And then I know that, you know, like I said, I've done the main post for the day, and then, you know, then I can just kind of check in here and there and interact with everybody else's pictures. Anybody have any questions about that real quick? No? So work on that. And like I said, look at those scripts, make them sound like you. Sometimes I change them up. I know there's a few typos in those. Sorry, but it was kind of, some of that was given to me. I revamped it, but I've noticed when I go to post a couple things that there's a couple typos in it. So read through it. See, I leave some of that stuff out. I don't always post some of that stuff, like about, I don't know, about how to measure yourself properly or how to take before and after pictures. I don't know, maybe I should include that stuff, but I feel like that's a little bit like, you know, the book explains some of that. Some of that stuff is a little bit overkill, but so just, you know, you can mess with it and do what you want. You don't even have to use what I have used. You know, copy and paste it into your Google Drive, what I gave you, and then, you know, change it up and switch it up and delete some of it or whatever. What's nice about it is you can actually, the ones I uploaded are a Google document. So what you can do is if you have Google Drive, you can drag that into your, you know, your own, or you can make a copy of it. And it's just really simple. It's user friendly, but again, it's hard to explain if I can't show you. But so mess with it a little bit maybe, and we can go from there. We'll talk about it next week. And I know we're at the 16th of the month. There's still time to hit Success Club. I had this talk with Jessica Servi today, a little pep talk. And you know, I think a lot of times it's just you get in your own head and you know, get discouraged easily because you think, oh, I've not been doing anything the last few days, or I've slacked, or whatever it is. But I think really the only thing, you know, sometimes from keeping me from doing something, or, you know, even like, for example, hitting Success Club, if that's in my brain that I don't think I can do it, then I'm in my own head and I'm in my own way, basically, because you know, if you have plenty of time to get out those messages, talk to people, invite them. It's fine if our group started today, who cares? They can still jump in the group. I'll leave it running for a while. I'm never going to, I won't end it if they haven't finished their 21-day fix. You know, I'm not going to end it on them. And they can always maybe jump in the next group. You know, if they order in the next couple weeks, they'll be ready to jump in the next group. So it's just never too late to get out those messages. Even if you have to sit down and send 20 messages, it seems like a lot. But, you know, it's not really. If you think about follow-ups, maybe you've already talked to 5 people. Okay, follow up with them. See what's going on with them. You know, check in. See if they're ready to get going or get started. You know, maybe you had some clean eating people that, you know, or were in the group and they were kind of interested, but you didn't hear back from them or whatever. I'm very persistent, and I told me and Jessica talked about this, but you know, the nice thing about Facebook Messenger is we can see when they've read their message. So if I feel like a lot of times, and I know Jessica feels this way too, like I give too much information sometimes, or I think I do. I probably don't, because it's beneficial for them to know all the information. But sometimes you send a message, they read it, and you're automatically discouraged. You think, okay, I offended them, or I blah, blah, blah. But don't think that, because they're busy, or they don't know what to do, or, you know, they're thinking about what they want to do. Or maybe they didn't, you know, whatever. They're just, at that point in time, they couldn't answer you. So, so maybe like give it a day, or maybe sometimes right away. If I saw it, they read it, I'll say, hey, did that make sense? I know that was a lot of information. That's it. I'll send that. That makes them more likely to respond, because they're thinking, oh, okay, I better get back with her, or whatever. That way I know I can answer any questions, or, you know, or I'll say, hey, did you have any other questions? I hope that wasn't too much information, or, you know, I hope I didn't lose you, or I was rambling, or whatever I say. But I'm really persistent to get like an answer. And I think that's just part of it. You have to do that, or they're going to leave you hanging. Some people are just kind of ho-humming around about it. And in order to get an answer, you kind of got to just directly, like I've said in the past, you got to directly ask. So even if you have to send 20 invites this week or tomorrow or whenever you have time, and I know that seems like, oh my goodness, But once you sit down and just start doing it, going through your friend list, checking in to see who you could contact and ask, do not forget to post. So if you're looking for people to come to you, you have to post, and do like one of those call to action posts if you want. And talk about the new group that just started and how there's still time to jump in. Show a picture of yourself because it gets more attention than a picture of Autumn or a quote or something. To me, I think people relate more to you and what you're doing and part of your journey. So add in maybe what in the past what you did do. Maybe in the past you would have totally fallen off by now, or you would have gave in to your binge eating or whatever it is that, bring up something from your past and talk about now how it's different, how the group's changed you, or how, the program that you're doing has changed, or whatever it is. And you don't post your link. You don't have to sound like, hey, whatever. You don't have to talk about a sale that's going on or anything like that. Just let people know that you're there to help. So, okay, we have less than a minute. Does anybody have a quick question that they need to ask real quick?
I don't think so. Thanks, Tabitha.
Okay. Well, let me know if you guys do. And like I said, next week, let's just plan on doing that. We'll go over some stuff in Google Drive because I could use like a lesson on some of it too. Jamie is, like I said, she's really good with it. Because sometimes when you transfer and save documents and different things, it's just confusing. You can upload a document in a PDF file, and then you've got Word, Microsoft Word, if some people use that. And it's a little bit much, but it's really, once you get those files uploaded to your Google Drive, trust me, I mean, there's only 3 or 4 files that I gave you that you need for your challenge group. The rest is good. And you can download some of those cool 21-day fixed pictures, save some of them from Pinterest or whatever, some of your favorites, save them to your computer, and you'll be able to drag those easily, or save them to your phone somehow. And you'll be able to drag those easier when you go to post them. So, okay, well, you guys, I hope you have a good night, and we'll talk soon, okay? And I'll post this call, too, so that everyone who wasn't on can. So tag your coaches in this. That way they can see the call. So I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
All right, bye, guys.
Bye, good night.
Bye.